Got a 95 Dodge Ram van, 2500 V8 Magnum, 318. Doing some shocks. Just pulled this little splash guard down. It's got these pop clips. And on the top of the shock, we got a 14 millimeter. Sits right there. If you don't have an impact, this could be pretty tough to get this guy off, because what it's going to do is just spin the inside of the shock. So you're going to want to put some vice grips on the shaft of the shock, which you can't see unless you unbolt the bottom side first. Those two bolts, those are 13 mil. So if you don't have a stubby impact that can squeeze in there, that's what you're going to want to do. Let's see if this one will come off. I don't think it's coming off. So we're going to loosen the bottom bolts. Well, we're going to take them off. Let's steal this air hose and get those bottom ones zipped off. Alright, here we are underneath of it. I've got my lift underneath here and a jack on the lower control arm. There's one. There we go, and the shock will just kind of like fall down a bit. Now we can go back up. See, the shock fell down, so now we can get vice grips on the shaft that keeps spinning right there if we have to, in between the coil spring. Or you can heat up that nut up top to help it come loose, or just cut it off altogether. Alright, I got that shock out of there. I ended up heating up the nut on the end of it, and then it zipped right off with my impact. That's the easiest way, besides cutting it or putting vice grips in between the coil springs. Now we got our new shock. We got our metal washer and then the bushing, just like so. We're gonna get underneath the vehicle and pop that in there. We got to try to line it up with the little hole up there. You can barely see it. There we go. We're there. Now I've got to press with one hand and get the bolt started with the other. So I can't do this with the camera in my hand, but yep, press up on the shock. I just compressed it quite a bit. Almost there, see? And then it comes back down. So we're gonna compress it and get those bolts started. All right, we got our bottom bolts tight down there. Now we're gonna put our bushing on first. Into here. Push it all the way down. It's kind of stiff. There we go. Washer and nut. Those lug nuts were 13/16 or 21 mil, I believe, to get your tire off. And there we go. Then we got a 14 millimeter up top. You're gonna need a deep well. And since these are clean threads, it's gonna tighten that shock down without spinning the piston in the middle. Unlike getting the old shock off where it just keeps spinning. This one will start spinning that piston in the middle once it bottoms out. Everything's tight. So all you gotta do is tighten this up real good. Put your splash guard back on, put your tire back on, and you're good to go.